Yeah, my name's Tyler, and a little about my mom. Crazy woman, I love her dearly. She is a mother of four. I'm the second of four boys. She was raised by a Unity minister and a severely alcoholic woman. And she spent a lot of time in the back of police cars. And I'm going to tell you about one of the times that she spent in the front of a police car. So she grew up in Naples, Florida, and my dad was, or her dad, my grandpa Jack, was the minister of the church. He started a church down there. It was a great thing. And so, you know, being the preacher's daughter was always kind of rough for her, and she always felt like she had to rebel. So I think the first time she got arrested, she was 6, and she was out after curfew. Her and her sister Joy, she got taken to the police station. It was a big deal. But when she was about 9, her brother James had gotten in trouble for something, and I can't remember what it was, but it was, you know, some illegal possession of drugs or something like that. He was 13 or so. Like I said, crazy family. And the cop, the chief of police, lived right across the street from my grandpa Jack, her dad, the preacher. And, you know, it got to the point where the kids would work stuff out instead of involving the responsible adults. And so my mom went over to the cop's son, whose name I don't remember. We'll call him Johnny, because why not? And she goes over to Johnny and says, "Johnny, my brother James is in trouble with your dad. I don't want to get my dad involved. What do I have to do to make this go away?" And Johnny says, "All right, well, you have to be a badass. And what I mean by that is you have to steal my dad's patrol car. And you have to drive it down to the pier and back, which was a little over 5 miles. She was 9. And I will convince my dad to not have anything to do with prosecuting your brother." And my mom, of course, says, "All right, done. Where do you keep the keys?" So Johnny explains to her that they keep the keys on the little hook inside the front door, and his mom and his dad, the cop, would sit and watch TV, you know, from 6 to 8 in the evening, and that was the best opportunity to do that. So my mom, at 9 years old, breaks into the cop's house across the road, and steals the keys to his patrol car, drives it to the pier, and then a little out of the way to get some gas, just to prove that she was extra badass. She filled it back up to where it was, and brought it back without him ever knowing. And so Johnny made it go away, and my Uncle James never got prosecuted for illegal possession of drugs at 13 years old. So that's the crazy story of my mom in the front of the police car. She also had a lot of other, you know, escapades when she was a very young child. When she was in middle school, she was the youngest of 6 kids. And it got to the point where she would enter a class and the teacher would say, "Oh, another Kern." And so, you know, the teachers didn't really like her, and she didn't really like teachers anyway, so it wasn't, you know, a great relationship. There was this one teacher who was particularly abysmal, who was her art teacher. And the first day of class, she gives an assignment to say, you know, draw whatever you want, whatever you feel like. And my mom draws this butterfly, which she thought was really good. And the teacher says, "That's terrible. You should quit art right now." And so from this point on, my mom and this teacher didn't have a great relationship. And so my mom would come up with the most terrible things to do to this woman when she wasn't at school. The guys on the pier used to fish for hammerhead sharks. And hammerhead sharks can grow to be pretty big, you know, 14 to 16 feet long. And when you catch a hammerhead shark, you haul it up on the pier with this huge fishing line. Big old pole, and what they use for bobbers, I don't know if you guys know this if you're shark fishing, what you use for bobber is a 33-gallon black trash bag. Because the sharks are that powerful, it's full of air, and it will just sink right under the water with not a ripple. It's a powerful being. And so they would haul these 14-foot hammerhead sharks up, and then they would cut off the head and pull out all the entrails and just have the meat. And so she asked one day, "Could I have the head and the entrails?" And sure, they gave it to her, because what were they going to do with them? And she brought them back and left them on her art teacher's doorstep while she was out for the long weekend in Naples, Florida at the end of the summer. So when she came back to her house, it you know, wasn't a great place to be. So, you know, a little bit of warfare between them. She has since turned into a wonderful woman. And I love her dearly.
Your mom or the art teacher?
My mom, the art teacher, I'm not sure about. But I can only hope. She now, I'm lucky enough to live in town with her, and several of the stories that I've heard before are about a mom being far away, and not being able to get to her. And I'm really fortunate to live in the same town as my mom, because, you know, she's a 2-minute drive away. I can just show up and say hi, you know, I love you. And it's been a really great thing, so thanks for listening to my stories about my crazy mom. Yeah.